checking out this pocket. Jordan just strung it.
Basically what I'm trying to do with this top string is just engineer a little give into the pocket by not anchoring anything to the plastics. It just has a little flex when the ball's in it. These vertical runners just don't stretch a ton, and so by getting a little flex in the top string, the sidewalls, the bottom string, we can get a sort of a pocket with good performance that has that sort of feel and give to it. Explain what I'm doing with the top string here. Basically the attachment to the head is pretty standard. I'm just not going through any mesh, but just a double interlock that they're a mirror of each other. But to attach the actual mesh, basically I have sort of a fold that's normal. I come from the front of the diamond in, and then rather than going all the way through, I come up through the top here, like that, like so, and then just over this top bridge with the string, so that goes in there. And then when you pull that tight, it actually flips the diamond and pulls the mesh up through it like that. And so we'll do that again, just once this time. And so anchor to the plastic from the front, snug that up, and then go in this way and anchor that down. And so after there's tension applied, once we get to the sidewalls, those mesh diamonds will sort of flip up, kind of like I have in my in the one here. You can kind of see the difference. Continue to do two more of the sort of floats to the diamonds here to pull the top of the diamond through. And then the tie off, it is just a loop, using two holes though, because these holes are pretty small, and there's plenty of them. So two holes, but rather than wrapping around the whole side of it, I'm actually just sort of wrapped around kind of the inside of the diamond. You can see the normally the little sort of tail that you have is right here. And so it just keeps it from sliding inward at all, and it just sets me up for the next diamond here. You can see this one compared to this one. You can kind of see the difference with one under load and one just sort of the top string only, and how those diamonds change after you put in that top string. And again, that's sort of clear evidence of the little give that you get as this pocket gets settled and you have the rest of the pieces in. So onto the sidewalls. All right, next up is the sidewall string here. For the top string to tie it off, I just did little single knots. For whatever reason, I always do doubles. It doesn't really matter, but that's what we're doing so it doesn't slip through. And I just do a loop start, so just going around the first row of mesh diamonds. Gonna skip a couple holes here, so I'm gonna start the sidewall here. Just go up through, back in through the same hole, using the string to help pull the tip through, back through the same mesh hole, and crank that down. For the first sidewall, gonna skip 3 holes here. So 1, 2, 3, which looks the same. Oh, see, that's just 2. So skipping 3, and this time I'm gonna actually knot it. So going up through the mesh diamond, down through the little spiral that we make here. So we have a overhand knot basically. And then to tighten this, I grab the first part of the knot, pull that tight to get our mesh into place, and I anchor it with my finger here while pinching the string that's under tension, and then pull the rest of it through. Nice and tight. At this point, you can, since everything's knotted, nothing's gonna move, you could do the other side, you could do a couple of these. In this particular case, since I more or less know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna get to where the tension changes, and then start the other side, get to there, and then just finish them both off. So we're just gonna do a couple more knots here and come back when the channel's ready. Alright, so we've got more or less the top half of the sidewalls done here. I went ahead and finished this side, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing on the bottom half here, but nothing super difficult in the top half, just trying to manage tension, make sure we've got some tight quarters here, with the middle a little softer, just to sort of form that channel that we need. And then I've just got it anchored. I am doing one little difference with this pocket versus this one here. The sidewall that I use doesn't have a whole lot of stretch. This is also just an easier way to do it quickly. But this time around I'm actually tying knots at each of the anchor points rather than just regular overhand interlocks. So tying down those knots and just to get everything just set and not change a whole lot. And yeah, so I'm going to finish up the other sidewall here, and I'll go over the sidewall pattern in the next clip. Just finished the sidewalls up. Pretty much have our pocket for the most part constructed. Nothing fancy, just 4 down tight, and then I have 5 floating here with some knotted interlocks in between. Again, just trying to target the ball so it sits in the low point of the sidewall and then doesn't go much higher than where the pinch stops. So the ball ideally should sit kind of right in the middle of the stick, maybe a little high, but yeah, feeling pretty good about this so far. Little touch here, the bottom string is in. So I deliberately tried not to attach the runners at the top. So same thing in the bottom. I'm actually just going through some mesh. And then I got a little fancy here. Some of it is just to manage the tension and keep those runners coming together like that. The other part of it was to manage the tail. Because of those rubber stripes, the tail would just always sort of be in your hand. So with how I've done the bottom string, it actually forces this to stick up. You get a few style points because of it, I think. And yeah, you can cut it off if you need to, but then you lose the little tag, and well, you know, you need that. But it worked out. I'm happy with how this is sitting. Yeah. Got our first nylon in here, going with the skinny up top. I chose to go behind the grip just to not interrupt it, but you're still gonna have some grip in the middle here. Nothing super technical about it, just sort of a standard weave with a little adjustment at the runner here. But gonna add 2 more shooting strings, sort of in a, not quite rolled, I call it. So I'm finishing up the 2 hockey laces here. Both of these are just your standard snow Firethreads. So white on white with the grip print there. This style of shooting string, it's like a weaved and like a rolled. It puts the bulk of the lace on the back of the pocket, so you have a little bit smoother surface on the front without a bunch of a bump, but you can still manage the tension well. I think I first saw this shooting string method in a stick, one of Jim Moss's stick, old NLL player, like 8 or 9 years ago, but he actually had it reversed so the bump was in the front. But it's something that's worked really well for me for Firethreads. Provides a nice smooth release, yet you still get full advantage of the grip print. And then you'll notice the Firethreads, the hockey laces actually go over the center rail. And again, this was just more for partly aesthetics, partly just to keep it nice and consistent as it goes across. So just a pretty more or less simple, straightforward shooter setup. Two hockey straight across with a nylon up top. Should get a good amount of feel here. Have a lot of natural give in the pocket from how the top strings and bottom strings are attached. So I'm just gonna finish tying off the rest of these, pull all the slack through, make sure these are all at the right tension, and this thing should be ready to go.
All right, I'm gonna give this one a try for the first time. We haven't touched anything yet, but let's see what it does. Off hit. I like how the ball kind of like snaps in there.
Yep.
I like it. I feel like that's the first thing.
Nice in there too. Like if you're like if it winds up, it's
Yeah.
gonna...
To go, I gotta go shoot with this and see how it. And I'm sure it's gonna break in a little bit too, but.
Yeah.
that feels like a really good start.
I think really only one of the shooting strings is all you can do the trick. Like if there's problems, like just get this one and this one a little looser.
Yeah.
And so it's just because the release on this one's like smoother,
It is.
Or it's sort of like
Yeah. But that's the
quicker, I
difference
guess.
between your pockets and my pockets
Yeah.
too, a little bit.
Yeah, and the only difference is this diamond's pulled down one tighter on that one than the knots.
This one's pulled down one tighter.
Yeah, right
So
here.
you let this one be a little higher.
This one's a little lower.
Oh,
Whereas
this
this is pulled down a little tighter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So more tension through the pocket
Yep.
on this one.
Yep. And that was like this channel started to open up a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting. So this is a little more channeled.
And then the knots also add a little more, like,
Yeah.
channel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like if you do the same patterns with the exact
I
same
just like
knots,
how smoothness.
it
of
looks
it.
good.
Yeah.
This one,
It came out like.
yeah. And I think the pocket's only going to sort of start to settle in.
Totally. I think it's gonna break in.
Softens
I
up.
think it's gonna be like a break-in pocket.
Yep. Patience.
Can't have everything right away. Come on.